Grief has a way of pulling a curtain over your life. One moment, the world is bright with plans and familiar rhythms. Then suddenly it's quiet. Too quiet. If you've lost your spouse, your partner, your confidant, the person who shared your inside jokes and filled in the blanks of your stories, you know what that silence feels like. It isn't just the absence of a voice. It's the absence of a future you thought you had. But what if I told you, love doesn't end with loss? What if healing doesn't mean forgetting? And what if, after all the tears and heartache, you were still allowed, yes, even encouraged, to love again? That's what we're talking about today. The complicated, emotional, and deeply human journey of dating again after your spouse has passed away. It's a subject many shy away from, afraid of judgment, of guilt, of what others will think. But behind every quiet widow and every grieving widower is a person who once loved deeply. And maybe, just maybe, someone who still has love to give. So let's ask the question most are too scared to voice out loud. When the person you thought you'd spend forever with is gone, what happens next? Can there ever be a next chapter in a story that was already so beautiful and so painfully cut short? By the end of this video, you'll have not only the emotional permission to explore love again, but also a deeper understanding of how others in your situation have navigated this path, with all its tenderness, guilt, awkwardness, hope, and yes, joy. Because dating after loss isn't just about finding someone new. It's about rediscovering yourself in the aftermath of the unthinkable. Let's begin. Losing a spouse changes your identity in ways no one can prepare you for. It's not just that you're now a widow or widower. It's that your daily routines are suddenly shattered. Your shared traditions, your inside jokes, your favorite meals. Now they're echoes. You might still set 2 plates at dinner without realizing it. You might reach for the phone to share a funny story, only to remember no one's there to hear it. The early days are full of shock. The middle days are full of sorrow. And the late days, the ones where people assume you must be okay by now, those are filled with a different kind of ache. A quiet loneliness. A longing not just for your spouse but for connection, for purpose, for warmth. And yet, the idea of dating again feels like a betrayal, doesn't it? That's the first emotional wall many face. Guilt. Guilt that you're still alive when your partner isn't. Guilt that you can laugh again, smile again, even feel attraction again. You might think, what kind of person am I to want companionship when they're gone? But here's the truth. Grief and love are not mutually exclusive. In fact, the reason you feel so much guilt is because you loved so deeply. And that love, your capacity for it, didn't die with them. It's still there, waiting. There's a quiet transformation that happens when grief starts to loosen its grip. You begin to hear music again, not as background noise, but as something that moves you. You notice the way someone looks at you across a room. You feel something stir inside, a flutter you hadn't felt in years. It doesn't mean you've stopped loving the person you lost. It means you're still living. And life has a way of nudging us forward whether we're ready or not. But dating again, that's a whole different animal. Especially after decades of marriage. The rules feel unfamiliar. The technology, dating apps, texting, swiping, can be overwhelming. And then there's the question of compatibility. How do you explain a lifetime of memories to someone new? How do you open your heart to someone who wasn't there for the hardest parts? Start small. This isn't about jumping into romance. It's about connection. Coffee with someone who shares your values. A walk in the park with someone who listens more than they talk. A movie night where you don't have to explain your silence. Don't think of it as replacing what you had, because you never could. Think of it as honoring what you had, by allowing yourself to live fully again. Here's something that surprises a lot of people. Often your friends and family will have strong opinions about you dating again. Some might be supportive, even encouraging. Others may be shocked. It's too soon, they'll say. Or, you must not have loved them that much. But the only person who knows what's in your heart is you. And the only timeline that matters is your own. Let's be real. It's hard enough to grieve without carrying the weight of others' expectations. Don't let someone else's discomfort become your prison. You're allowed to miss your spouse and seek companionship. Those emotions can live side by side. You can hold space for both love lost and love yet to come. But there's one sign almost no one talks about, and it's the most important of all. It's the moment you realize you want to laugh again. Not just the polite kind at dinner tables, but the deep belly laughter that leaves you breathless. It might come unexpectedly, While watching a silly video, hearing a grandchild say something absurd, or sitting across from someone new who just gets you. That laughter is your soul's way of saying, I'm still here. It's the most honest sign that you're healing, that you're ready or getting close to ready to let someone new into your world. Now let's talk about the practical side. What does dating after loss actually look like? It starts with honesty. Be honest with yourself about what you want. Are you looking for companionship, best friend, romantic connection, marriage again? There's no wrong answer, only what feels right for you. Then comes honesty with the person you're dating. You don't need to pour your entire grief journey into the first conversation, but you do need to be upfront. I lost my spouse a few years ago. Changed me. But I'm open to finding joy again. That's not just brave, it's beautiful. Expect some awkwardness. Dating later in life, especially after deep loss, feels different. You may find yourself comparing. Noticing how this new person laughs differently, speaks differently, hugs differently. That's okay. It's natural. The goal isn't to find a replica of your late spouse. It's to find someone who makes the present moment meaningful in their own unique way. There may be tears. There may be guilt. There may be joy so startling it scares you. Let it all in. Let it move through you. This is what it means to be alive. To feel deeply. To honor the past without being shackled to it. If you've made it this far, here's what I'd love for you to do. Leave a comment below and tell us, what's one thing your spouse taught you about love that you'll never forget? Whether you're dating again or just thinking about it, your wisdom might help someone else take that brave first step. Now let's dive deeper into something many people worry about. How to bring up your late spouse in a new relationship. This is one of the most emotionally charged parts of dating again. Some fear that mentioning the past will make things awkward. Others are afraid to stop mentioning them, fearing disloyalty. Here's the balance. Your late spouse is part of your story. A huge part. And any relationship worth building will make space for that. You don't need to hide your memories. In fact, sharing stories about your life before can build deeper intimacy with someone new. It shows them where you've been. It shows them how deeply you're capable of loving. And it shows them that your heart still has room. There's something sacred about being vulnerable. And few things are more vulnerable than saying, I've lost, but I'm still here. And I'm willing to love again. Sometimes the hardest part isn't starting to date. It's knowing when to stop protecting yourself. You might meet someone kind, someone respectful. But when they get too close, you pull away. You think, if I let them in, I might lose again. And you're right. Love is a risk, boys. But it's also the most life-affirming, soul-reviving choice you can make. If your late spouse loved you as much as you loved them, don't you think they'd want you to be happy again? Here's a powerful truth. Loving again doesn't mean you've moved on. It means you're moving forward. There's a difference. Moving on implies leaving something behind. Moving forward means carrying your past with grace and still choosing life. You don't have to know how the story ends. You only have to be brave enough to turn the page. Coming up, the one moment that still brings tears to my eyes. It was a letter. Handwritten. Found in the back of a drawer months after he passed. In it he wrote, if you ever find joy again even with someone else, let it happen. I loved you so much that I want you to keep loving. That's what we were about, remember? That letter became a lighthouse, a permission slip, a final embrace across time. Not everyone will get that letter. But maybe you needed this one, in video form. Maybe this is your sign, your whisper of encouragement, your gentle nudge forward. So what now? Maybe you're ready to date. Maybe you're not. Either way, you are not broken. You are not disloyal. You are a whole human being with a heart that still beats. And that heart deserves to feel joy, connection, and laughter again. If this reminded you of someone, share it with a friend. You never know who needs to hear it. We all age, but how we age is up to us. You've known grief. Now it's time you remember joy. Because your story isn't over. Not by a long shot.